Hi, I'm Mariangela and I'm the Purpose to Prosperity Mentor. This is my mystic insights to support empaths, sensitives and light workers on their path ahead. And Happy New Year! It's January 2020. What a fabulous time and energy this new year is bringing. The 2020 ends up being a number 4 in numerology, and the 4 is all about stability, foundation, taking all the incremental steps to achieve our goals. So this year will be so much more successful because we'll be able to implement, strategize, and really see a follow through with our intentions to fulfill our destiny, which is so exciting. And the number 2 is about harmony and balance and really finding a merging of both sides of our body. So the right hand side is the masculine, the left hand side is the feminine, and we're finding a way to weave in those two elements so that we can start to follow through with the action, determination, fulfilling our destiny from the masculine side. And the feminine is sensitivity, compassion, intuition, trust. And I'm sitting here in Tasmania in the bush with the creek behind me. Can you see the water lighting there? The sun is sparkling there on the water, highlighting it, and it's moving through the rocks. And I felt really called to sit amongst nature, to call in the balance of that masculine and feminine because of what that is going to weave in for us. And so as I'm holding space for you, as I'm channeling in the frequency of 2020 and the balance of the two, the masculine and the feminine, I want you to start in to connect to the divine and the earth and really harness the earth energy. Here in the riverbed, I'm calling in the nature spirits, the water element, the earth element, the energies of the rocks, the spirits that are embodied in these rocks that I'm sitting on, harnessing and imprinting so many centuries of wisdom in the rocks. So that's the masculine, the divine masculine. So I want you to feel the energy of the rocks, even putting in on your altar a rock, perhaps from the riverbed, perhaps from somewhere near water, because it's that balance that we're calling in for this year. And placing your hands on the rocks, holding the rock, holding the frequency of, so many little rocks here, but just the embedded rock and how the water has shaped it, how the energy of the feminine has been able to carve out the balanced rock elements. So we're calling in the frequency of the rock, any rock, granite especially. And as we call that in, we're embodying the stability, the foundation, the immenseness of that rock, that foundation that's going to be harnessed for us in 2020. And as I'm calling that in, I'm feeling the wisdom of the ancestors coming through, speaking through me, going to be speaking through all of us for what we're being called to do for this year. And the feminine coming in, that water element there in the creek bed, weaving its way around the rocks, not fully forcing itself on the energy of a rock, but just weaving around and really honing in on how where the feminine can find space, can find a way of making the way through rather than hitting a wall, breaking down. We don't want to be doing that this year. We really want to be focusing on weaving, navigating around obstacles. Coming up on the full moon, there's an eclipse on the 10th of January. This is a really auspicious time because it's in Cancer. It's about the heart space. It's about really opening up to unconditional love and support within our family, how we feel nurtured, how other people nurture us, how we find ourselves within family and community, how we able to call more people into our lives that feel like family, supportive family, because I know all of us, we want that for ourselves so we can really feel in a nourished environment. Now this full moon eclipse is bringing in a lot of change. A lot of the old structures are falling away. Pluto and Saturn are coming in 2 days later as a cathartic breaking point of transformation. We are being shed of the past. We are letting go of shackles that have held us back. All this imprinting, rules, regulations that are still embodied in our energy from childhood, from past lives, where we have been suppressed, where we have been unable to voice ourselves, where we've been silenced. And I can just feel the energy of the rocks coming through me now to help us to really stand in our foundation, in the stillness of what is coming, in the breaking away, in it, because it can feel like it's going to be like a really, at times maybe even a shock, to release some of this old that we've been working on for all of last year, 2019. This is the pivotal point. This is going to be the tipping point where it's like something's really letting go to open us up into more of ourselves, into this awakening. And so that's why I'm calling in the energy of the heart for the Cancer and the solar plexus, as we're bridging in the feminine in the heart and the solar plexus above your navel, the energy of the masculine, tying them in, merging them together, infusing them so that we can come together with this sense of unity within ourselves, parenting ourselves, loving ourselves, not looking for that externally, unable to find the answers because we've been looking outside instead of coming in within ourselves, dropping down from the mind into that heart, and then anchoring into that solar plexus so that we can birth in what we're truly meant to do in 2020. This unshackling is allowing us to rise up. Everything we are meant to be doing, that our purpose, our destiny, is going to come through in a more intense way, a way that if we don't fulfill our purpose this year or start step into that pathway, then we'll be facing the shadow. I know that in the past I lived in the shadow of my gifts, that I didn't know I was intuitive, or that I didn't know I was a healer or a messenger or tapping into as a channel or a shaman. I'm an alchemist. I weave in all of these elements because of my multi-gifts as I channel in my huge collective consciousness of these 100 or more guides that come through me to help heal my clients, to help heal my community. And this is coming up for you as well. If we're not stepping into that, our abilities to start that pathway, then we'll be facing the shadow, depression, anxiety, ill health, sabotaging our relationships, unable to make an income in our business. Feeling that dropping down again as we're releasing those patterns where we have stifled ourselves, where we have been held back. And as I said, this full moon and this Pluto-Saturn energy is breaking us apart so that we can bring more of ourselves, what we're rising up to fulfill in our destiny. This is going to help us to leap, because this unshackling, we've been wanting to rise up, wanting to see the difference that we can make, but we've been capped, there's been a ceiling, and now this energy's coming up to really surge us forward into what we're really here to do. And as I'm connecting with you now, I'm calling you forward. What is it that you're here to do? If you're uncertain of what that is and you want my support, I am launching my next course coming up soon to help those that want to expand into their healing capacities, to want to develop their intuition, to want to really make a difference in the world, because all of us here are gifted and with often multi-gifts. And in that rising up of this being a transformational healer, a catalyst of change, we make a difference in our lives, fulfilling our destiny, so that we as a collective can start to raise the vibration of the planet. When one of us begins to change our environment, our energetic field, then it lights the next person up so that they can start to catalyze and transform into their best version. I know I do that for my family, I do that with my friends, I do that within my clients. I'd love to support you to do that for your connections, your community, so that we are elevating all of us into 2020 to rise up into this new vibration. This January is a number 5. in numerology. So this is about bringing change in a greater way, to let go of the past. This is a transformational month of letting go of the past so that you can rise up. And as we bring in that 5, to stabilize that with the element of the rocks, of the water, I want to call that in for you. Where do you need that energy right now? As we stabilize into the 2020, fully anchored on our path, where do you need to really feel the energy coming through you? What needs to be unlocked? What chakra is calling you to activate, to awaken, so that you can fulfill your destiny in a greater way? If this resonates with you and you want to reach out for my next course starting in February, I'd love to support you. It's a great community of like-minded, heart-centered souls as we awaken into a deeper connection with our gifts so we can make a greater difference. It's going to be a fantastic month. Big love.